Alright, so this is Multiversal Archivist. We're coming at you with another video, and this time I'm saying we're because I have my bestest friend in the whole world, David, with me. We're going to be doing a commentary on Rebel Moon, of all things. Now, a
Yeah.
movie I have seen, but not that my good friend David hasn't.
No. And it's kind of interesting. We've had a long, you and I, very complex history with old Zack Snyder. Saw Man of Steel together in theaters. Uh, but yeah, a lot of highs and lows with the guy. But yeah, this will be my first time watching Rebel Moon Part One, Child of Fire.
I remember walking out of Man of Steel and being like, both of us being like, well, I guess that's the best Superman movie we're gonna get.
Yes, I was kind of in a very very resigned kind of we need to expect better from our world leaders because we were both like, well, there's literally no way to make a better Superman movie than Man of Steel, as as if we had to deal with the scraps they were serving us at Warner Brothers.
Though
Um,
hilariously enough, I do like Watchmen, which I do also remember us talking about, and me being a lot happier with Watchmen as a whole than than you were.
yeah, I have some very mixed feelings on Watchmen the movie. I think there's some really tremendous stuff, and there's some stuff that doesn't do much for me, which honestly uh, is a little bit of my overall feelings on our buddy Zack Snyder. Um, where I feel like he knocks some stuff out of the park, and then he always makes some decisions that rub me wrong. But we'll see how this goes. I am excited about it for my end, and then I'll let you know. I'll let you give me some necessary context as someone who's seen it before. I'm kind of into it because we've discussed this recently with Jupiter Ascending and
Great movie, by the way.
the creator from last year, which I did have some problems with, but overall left kind of high on.
Also,
I
good
like
movie.
I like original space opera-y kind of sci-fi on this big a budget. And I know that this one is original in quotation marks because this was going to be his Star Wars movie, and then when Disney rejected the pitch, he basically crossed some names out. If I'm from what I'm understanding, to make it into its own thing.
I
Um,
am curious how much originality you will find with this picture. Now, I will say, for those listening, if you are expecting kind of, we're like David said, we have a very complicated history with the Snyder pictures.
Mr.
Um,
Snyder.
with Mr. Snyder in general. If you are a big Snydehead or whatever they call him nowadays, this might not be the best commentary for you. But we'll leave it at that because I don't want to ruin anything for our friend here. He's
Yeah,
an
I don't know. Maybe
uninitiate to the Rebel.
my philosophy is always when the lights dim, even though the lights aren't going to dim because this is not a movie theater. But when we hit play, I always go, maybe this is going to be the best movie I've ever seen. I'm always very, I always come to every movie I watch with the most open of hearts. So I feel like I'm ready to be wowed by old Mr. Snyder, and we'll say nice things. And by all accounts, he seems like a perfectly fine gentleman. So yeah, you Snyder cut fan community can tone it down. Don't be screaming at me. Scream at Tanner a little bit, but also lay off the guy.
Yeah, or scream at me. I've heard that negative comments are as good for the YouTube
Yeah,
algorithm as bad as positive ones. So I'll take
you're ready to
whatever
go.
I can get.
You're ready to get to war.
All right. So in order to sync up with this, you're gonna press play. I'm gonna count it down. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and then at 1 we'll press play together. Hopefully everything will sync just fine. And this is a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. So actually, it's 2 hours and 16 minutes because it says 2:15:59 on Netflix, and that's
Yeah, you gotta round up. That
I'm gonna give
that's
Snyder the second on this one.
he doesn't earn that second yet.
All right, so
But all right, so
three.
it's gonna be 3, 2, 1, go, and then
Yeah, you want to
we're
go
gonna
on
hit
go
play
then?
after go for the people at home.
All right, we'll go on go then. So 3, 2, 1, go, and press play.
All right. And to your earlier point, Jupiter Ascending, amazing motion picture. And I'm going to have to be struggling to not talk about Jupiter Ascending.
Oh, I could talk about we could do a whole podcast on Jupiter Ascending.
There are podcasts that are like, each episode is 1 minute of the original Alien. And I feel like we could do that for Jupiter Ascending.
Oh yeah, I could riff on that lichen thing that they got going on for at least 5 minutes, and I could spend 30 talking about how much Mila Kunis wants to hop on that Channing Tatum for at least 40.
Man. The flying Channing Tatum dog man.
Who skates?
And that elephant. Okay, on the Mother World.
1,000 kings. 1,001 kings, David.
Wait, now I'm mixing up my Jupiter Ascending lore just as I'm trying to learn the Rebel Moon lore. So now I'll never catch up because I'm learning about the realm, the vastness of space. They're bad, they're conquering, but I'm also thinking, where do the bees come in? And that one pilot in Jupiter Ascending who's an elephant man. So already
I can already feel the Snyder heads tapping at us about the fact that we're talking about Jupiter Ascending.
And honestly, now that I've missed this first minute due to talking about Jupiter Ascending, Rebel Moon, it's a dead experience for me. It can't win me back. It lost it.
You're missing the not crawl. Like how Star Wars should have a crawl, but instead this is a ship.
Yeah, we're getting the long take of this ship over Balisarius, seizing the homeworld, or at least that's what narration's telling me. I kind of liked that shot of outer space. I think this planet and these nebula kind of things, these clouds look cool.
Well, you say what you want about Snyder, but he makes things look good. I mean, for the most part, like Watchmen, it literally looks, from comic to video for the most part.
From the pages, for sure. Yeah, this Saturn thing is neat. So I'm kind of 50-50, because I think, like, when he's doing these sort of still, like, money shots, or, like, these, like, little pictures or tableaus, it rules. But sometimes, like, in Batman v Superman, once, like, the action gets underway, it kind of turns into just gray goop.
I really need to go see, I really need to watch Sucker Punch. I think that's the most of what you're talking about, probably.
Yeah, that one is a lot of slow-mo shots of the girls jumping in the air to stab a samurai monster or something. So I think you would dig that one. Also, that is also a worthy commentary movie, because, hoo boy, there's a lot to...
I've heard.
Now, this actress, I really like.
That's not it's not Supergirl, right? New Supergirl?
I don't think so. This is the star of, I believe, Climax, the horror movie, and The Mummy, Kingsman with no legs.
Oh, she's Kingsman girl, huh?
But I could be wrong. It is indeed her. All right. Yeah, I really like her. To humble brag, I went to a Q&A for the movie Climax, and she was present after to do a Q&A, and a guy in the crowd asked the worst question of all time. Very embarrassing.
Are you single? Was that the worst question of all time?
It's up there. So she said, for the horror movie Climax that she stars in, I was really inspired by the horror movie from the 80s called Possession. I really modeled my performance after that movie. And then he stands up, and his first question is, he goes, so your performance reminded me a lot of this movie called Possession. Have you ever heard of it? Check it out. Just did not pay attention to what you was saying a minute ago.
Oh, man.
The chill over the audience was pretty strong.
Anyway,
these guys seem nice.
How do you like this red sun planet that we got going on?
It looks cool. It looks like kind of the old school idea of what Mars was like, where it was just essentially just the Wild West, and you could hang out there without a helmet on, and tow the land. So I dig that. Yeah, I'm liking these space Amish. and their ways.
I don't know if they're space Amish or space Sweden. Or space Norse. They're space something.
Oh, they might be space Vikings, kind of.
Yeah.
They're not pacifists. They can like kick butt if they gotta.
Oh, I forgot about you know I'm a fan of this what we're about to find out, or the speech being about to be given at the very least.
Oh, let me pay attention to what's being said.
You gotta listen to the village elder, man.
Oh, that guy. What? Wait, is this a Wicker Man Midsommar? Oh, no. The thrusting of the hips and the loud sounds of pleasure that summon the seedlings to
You gotta have
sprout.
sex in order to get the crops going, David. The village elder is telling you right away.
This is a society that encourages, getting down to ensure a plentiful harvest.
Yeah, look, he's about to do it right there. The whole village.
Yeah, they're all just getting to it, and she's looking over at her boyfriend there. Is that guy? He looks like he was Dario on Game of Thrones.
He looks like he's Dario from Game of Thrones, or he looks like the dude from Andor. He looks like Andor as well. Sometimes when I look at him, I'm like, "Are you Andor?"
Like Diego Luna,
Yeah,
like Andor himself. He does kind of have that look. Now that guy, Diego Luna, has always said that he wants to touch Jabba.
yes, he talks a lot about touching Jawa. He'd probably do good in the sex commune that clearly they live in.
Yes, him and Jabba getting handsy. I hope in Andor season 2 he gets to finally touch Jabba. I feel like that's overdue. Oh, he's like giving her grief because she's a free agent. He's saying, you gotta pick.
Well, according to this place's rules, you have to have sex in order to get the crops to grow.
Yeah, but I guess he's mad that she's not like monogamously making the crops grow in the new way of the parlance of this planet.
Oh, I guess you got to be married to become a full member of the community, or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's a swinging bachelor who still helps make the crops grow, but this guy's saying like maybe you gotta just pick, the person you want to make crops with for the rest of your life. It looks pretty cool, at least. I like the lighting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool. Like, say what you want about him ripping off other stuff, but I don't know. It's kind of a cool looking farmstead. Like,
nah, sure, and this not to. I don't want to build this movie up just by throwing jabs at other movies, but this is the same year that Quantumania came out, which promised a wonderful world beyond our imagination. Didn't really deliver, so I do like this movie.
oh man, one day I have to do a video on. You remember my big thing from that movie, the thing that I've researched extensively, which has caused me to watch it 3 times.
Say it for the folks at home.
Okay, well, I don't want to stop me because it will become a rant, but I don't know if anybody back home, go watch that movie. The main thing, Janet and Cassie, they never speak to each other. They either never speak to each other or they speak to each other once or twice, but they never actually have a full-on conversation with each other.
No, we're talking Janet.
Hope. I'm sorry, Hope. No, you're right. See, I already forgot it. But no, Hope, who is Cassie's stepmom at this point, does not have an actual conversation with Cassie. Not at any point during that movie did they exchange more than like 3 words to each other.
Yeah, well, I don't think Hope speaks period in that movie. That's for another commentary, because right now things are getting exciting.
Yeah, things are getting exciting. But yeah, go watch Quantumania with that lens in mind, folks at home.
How many lines? Wasp Jr. and Wasp the Third.
Yeah, I've watched that movie 3 times to make sure of it. And trust me, they maybe say 3 things to each other. It's crazy.
Whoa! All right, this Viking Amish man is getting
But yeah, Viking
getting
Amish, man.
word about the spaceship.
Did you see she rang the village tribal bell?
I did, and it was pretty cool. It looked like a Soviet propaganda film or something. You know, she's got the overalls and the big hammer, and is towing the land or whatever.
No, they could be Russian.
There's Hugh Jackman in a nice cameo.
Doesn't that guy look like Diego Luna? I'm telling you. I look at him and I'm like, are you Diego Luna?
Yeah, Dario. I think that's Dario too from Game of Thrones, and he's also Tatiana Maslany's boyfriend on Orphan Black, if I'm remembering right.
Did you ever see Orphan Black?
Hmm?
Did you ever see Orphan Black?
I watched like 2 seasons of it and liked it, but then yeah, just kind of like with many TV shows, sort of fell off.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it, but I've never partook.
It's worth a peek. I especially like the first few episodes because Tatiana Maslany gets to play a very amoral character, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, man, we'll keep getting side. It's funny how out of the MCU we both are, but how that still becomes a talking point almost every time.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's the way, like, you know, you never stop talking about that, like, ex that you claim to be totally over, or whatever, you know.
That is very true.
Like, yeah, don't care, I don't care about Marvel. I just tell people all day.
About Marvel.
Now Sauron is, like, flying, oh no, it's a ship.
Just to give some context, because we are both clearly listening, and the Snyder heads have no reason to snap at us for what we've done so far. That dude was the Diego Luna lookalike, who is probably certainly Dario. He was selling to rebels. He sold their crops or something to the rebels at one point, which is what he's kind of afraid of them finding out about.
Ah, got it. So they're not down with that in this village.
No, they're the Empire's not down with that. The guy's coming.
Oh, so okay, village just wants to live peacefully. Empire's showing up, and they're like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Ooh, it might be because I sold stuff to the rebels.
I've made some money on the side, basically."
All right, so that makes sense. Yeah, bad news. And they're here since we're. For the folks at home, we've been in the middle of a Highlander-a-thon. I was going to joke that here's General Katana.
Clancy Brown should be in more sci-fi stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's got that cool voice. Oh, they're Nazis.
Yes, they are Nazis. Just so we're clear.
They're just straight-up Nazis. I missed that. Okay, I might be going nuts. Maybe I just have Dario fever. But I think this Nazi guy is the first actor who played Dario on Game of Thrones.
Oh, you think we got dual Darios in here, huh?
Diego Luna looking guy. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. I think he's just a scary looking man.
I like how the first thing you say when you see them is, they're Nazis! Which, yeah. Which they are.
Well, they got the hats, the coats. They got, you know, pale Skeletor looking faces, and they're ready to rough up a more ethnic looking community. How else am I supposed to take it?
But of course, there's the one who sees the village girl and has feelings for her.
Seems a little pathetic. Like, yeah, want to hurt these youngins. And okay, so the head people are SS officers, and they got these, like, Dune-looking clerics, but then they have these Warhammer-looking grunts. So that's kind of the hierarchy of this evil empire.
Yeah, I mean, I like how you've already nailed it on the head. These Warhammer-looking grunts. I think that's the main problem most people have with this movie, is that many things look like Warhammer.
Oh, for sure. but I assume we're not getting as intense as Warhammer with all the genocide and war god worship, which is a shame because I feel like this could do to be a little edgier.
It's kind of crazy that Warhammer hasn't become like a big thing. I hope that's I know Henry Cavill's supposed to be leading the charge. I hope he just floods the market with Warhammer. Warhammer and Highlander. I swat a million Warhammer things and a million more Highlander things.
Now, crazy thing I learned, I hear, and this is so far away from Rebel Moon, but maybe it's to its credit that it keeps reminding me of other sci-fi stuff. I did just learn that Stanley Kubrick, while he was making AI artificial intelligence, got handed a Warhammer tie-in novel and said, maybe this will be my next movie.
Oh, could you imagine?
He's long gone. I don't know if that ever would have come to pass, but it's fun to dream.
Take me to that universe.
Mm-hmm. I also like the Diego Luna guy, Dario here. Dario 2, not Nazi Dario. He's just wearing a t-shirt.
Well, I mean, they're farmers.
It's true. They're simple.
They're simple folks.
Mennonite community here.
I mean, you wouldn't even know it was a sci-fi movie if you hadn't seen like the first 10 minutes where they were explaining everything that we forgot to figure out.
Yeah, which would kind of have been cooler if it actually just started with her plowing the field, and it just seemed like maybe a fantasy world, and then the ships rolling in would have been very.
More movies need to try and trick you into what genre you're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like we talk up The Prestige, how it goes, in a wacky direction halfway through.
Yeah. Or give me like a comedy movie, or a movie that's trying to tell me it's a comedy, but in reality it's a horror movie, and then it finally like gets done pulling the wool over my I don't know. I think those would be fascinating movies to make, where you go in being like, okay, I'm gonna try and convince people it's this movie genre, but in reality it's gonna be this movie genre, and just see how long you can keep up the ruse while still staying true to like the actual genre it is. It'd be a fun film, experiment.
If it's like Grown-Ups, and it's just Grown-Ups halfway through, and then like at the halfway point, Kevin James devil horns and spider legs start coming out of him, and he's crawling around on the roof.
Yeah, or he brutally murders somebody, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, we gotta just deal with it. It suddenly just stops everything, and we gotta deal with the fallout of that.
Yeah, no, see, I think that would be fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Nah, most definitely. Now, see, again, I'm pretty sure that is Dario 1, by the way. Jupiter Ascending, at this point, our leading lady should have a wacky immigrant family that I think that would give it a lot of heart, and you'd be a lot sadder now that these Nazis are...
Dude, at this point in Jupiter Ascending, she was already with Wolf Guy, and they were already skating away from bounty hunters.
Yeah, they were fighting baddies. They met Sean Bean. I also think this movie is now, I've heard that it's a bit Seven Samurai inspired, and another movie that's inspired by Seven Samurai that this movie's reminding me of right now is A Bug's Life. I feel like this is the main grasshopper bad guy, given his we'll be back for the crops in a year when the last leaf falls.
I didn't think about that till just now, but you're very right.
Yeah, this is full on that. Because correct me if I'm wrong. I actually don't know if he's going to massacre this village or if he's threatening them to give up the goods.
I mean, he does seem classic.
So yeah.
He does seem classic bad guy who's acting nice, but is really gonna mess you up, right?
Yeah, he's trying to be a little diplomatic here, but I feel like the guns are going to come out any minute. But yeah, this is totally the Nazi guys show up to get the food off the leaf, and they're pissed. they're all where's our food?
Hmm. Disney Plus right now has a at the time of this recording, at least, listen to that. I'm gonna date this commentary right now. But Disney Plus actually is advertising a documentary about bugs called "It's the Real Bug's Life" or something along those lines. I
Oh
just think
wow,
that's
it's a
hilarious.
reality show where the bugs go to the Big Brother house. That's that's very desperate, I will say.
I know, right? Like, okay, the only way we're gonna get people to watch this stupid bug documentary we made is to remind them of a 20-year-old animation at this point.
You're making a classy documentary about the wonders of the insect world, and you're like, let's call it A Bug's Life 2 just to get the kids into the seats. Now, Microcosmos from the 90s, a way cooler bug documentary with that poster with the mantis with the sunglasses.
Uh,
I bet that Disney Plus one doesn't come. Oh, geez. Violence. Holy Toledo. Oh.
they wanted to make sure you really understood that they were Nazis.
Well, now I have no doubts. Now I mean it both. They're literal Nazis with the trench coats and the hats, but also they're, man, you guys are Nazis in the, more folksy way. Yeah, when can I expect the harvest? This is full. This is a bug's life. I was like, oh, I'm sure this is going to be an homage to Star Wars, but no, it's you ants have a nice summer. Hey, a compassionate insect. Oh, did they leave the Warhammer people behind?
I guess they gotta make sure that they're gonna behave, so they're gonna leave the Warhammer people behind.
Okay, so it's not just, so it's a little different from A Bug's Life. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't rip off the whole entire thing, right?
Yeah, so this is like if a bunch of the grasshoppers stayed behind to ensure the harvest.
Man, talk about a terrifying movie.
Oh, and they got robots in a box.
Yep, they got box robots.
Yeah, they're gonna make a big bird to scare away the Nazi guy. Oh, JC-1435, Mechanica Militarium.
Whose voice you might recognize. It's a little known actor named Anthony Hopkins.
What? I thought that might have been him, but now I know for sure. Wasn't he also a robot in the Transformer movie? Or
No! Oh my god, his performance in Transformers is unhinged because he's not a robot. He's the secret leader of the Witwickies, remember?
Oh
Who
yeah, with and descendant of King Arthur and Merlin and stuff, right?
who at one point talks about he because that movie is so horny. He talks about sex at one point and talks about how much he wants to have sex. But my favorite part of that movie is when he just uses a secret room that apparently a secret entrance that apparently nobody knew about in order to get into the heart of British government, and then just treats the prime minister like he's a child for 10 minutes. It's insane.
That is pretty wacky. I don't need to hear that from esteemed actor Anthony Hopkins.
Well,
now these soldiers are being creeps. Oh no. They left us a Jimmy. What's a Jimmy? A horse? Tanner? Yeah.
it's gonna explain it.
I feel like I'm lost. I can't. I got a some modern day attention deficit, because unless they tell me what a thing is in a second, I get mad.
I can't tell if you're being serious or you're being sarcastic, so I'm just going to answer you that it's the robot, because it's the only thing. I will say this, it's the only thing that got left, too, so...
That's true. I should have been more on the game. The horse was in the shot. I didn't see that second horse, so I thought maybe the horse was the last of its kind.
Do the Nazis seem like the kind of people who carry a horse around in their ship?
Probably not. They do have a robot that they're immediately shooting at. I thought he was excited because, I don't know, jimmies are how you can get a jimmy.
Oh, you thought it was a sex thing?
Well, they've already been shown to be sexual creeps and criminals, so I was like,
no,
go for that robot next.
That is a fair and accurate thing to say about them.
But no, I think they just want to be mean to this robot. Now, what was the name of the robot from Rogue One?
I could not tell you. I could not tell you. I just remember that you fight that kind of robot a lot in the Star Wars Jedi Order games. They're security droids, but I don't remember what their designation is.
Programmed to be like sassier and have free will.
I feel like every robot in Star Wars eventually just gains free will. They should really look into the programming.
Yeah, it's kind of wacky. There's very little ones that just do what they're told. They're all kind of cute and cause mischief. Aw, he's gonna become friends with this Amish lady, JC1435. Was that a cross around her neck? Does the Lord exist?
I'd imagine. I mean, the king exists.
It's true, but I guess I was wondering if this is a full, how Star Wars takes place in its own world, or if this is the far future, so Jesus is still around.
I'm pretty sure this exists in its own world. We probably would have found out in the opening scroll we should have read and or listened to.
Right, might have given us more of a guess. I'm wondering, is this Dune, how Dune takes place 10,000 years in our future, or if it's just a full-on, a galaxy far, far away.
Dude, Dune. I like how most of this commentary has been us talking about better sci-fi worlds, but
for sure,
we're gonna go Dune. I have the tabletop book for Dune, and the tabletop book for Dune it's got beautiful art, but it also has a really detailed history of the Dune universe. So I was reading that universe is insane.
Crazy with the what is it, the orange Catholic Bible.
Yep, and the whole basically it had the Matrix start, but we won.
Valerian Jihad, where robots tried to turn on their masters, which is why there's no technology, and no computers in Dune. And that comes back into play in Dune books 7 and 8. So if we ever get there with 50-year-old Timothy Chalamet,
well, by then he'll be a worm or something, or his son will be the worm. Spoilers for Dune, by the way.
The God Emperor worm. All live in huts. That I want to see. I want the franchise to get to Worm Lado.
Timothy Chalamet's son as a giant god worm.
Yeah, like a half human, half worm creature that makes.
God, I couldn't even imagine how horrifying that must be to look at. Just in every.
How are they going to bring that to the big screen?
My mind can't even comprehend what a half human, half worm would look like. I feel like it'd be like staring into the dark, staring into that time well thing that they stare at in Doctor Who. That's what you see. You see Timothy Chalamet as a half worm, half human.
The worm man. Well, if we're going by most of the illustrations like the books did for it, yeah, it would be kind of like The Little Mermaid, only it's Timothy Chalamet and the bottom half is like a Godzilla-sized, sandworm. Essentially, the way he looks, which is Pretty horrific. Oh, they're giving their big speech. He's gonna go to the city to get the bigger bugs to help. It's not Dario. This is a different bearded. This is Wolverine. This is Hugh Jackman here.
It is Hugh Jackman light.
This does look basically like all the. There's Dario. But yeah, this does look like all those places that Wolverine goes into hiding. You know, like he just joins a humble farm. You know.
Yep. All you need is a Japanese woman to be the love interest.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he's being a lumberjack, but then the military, wants him back or whatever.
I wonder who this guy is to her. I don't think he's family. I think he's just some random dude who took her in. But like sometimes they act like he's way more than that.
Well, when I found you in the they just answered it when I found you in the wreckage of that ship.
Oh, so she's Superman.
Yeah, he's telling her she's got a special destiny. So this is essentially is Man of Steel. Only this guy is still nicer than Kevin Costner.
Dude, I'm trying to resist the urge to talk about because I just know if we go down that route, David, we might as well pause this thing because that'll be the commentary. It'll be us talking about our feelings towards Batman v Superman.
This should be like we should set these commentaries up like that Breaking Bad where they pass the talking pillow around. You can only talk about other science fiction movies if you're holding the talking pillow.
Oh man!
Otherwise, you got to pay attention to Rebel Moon Part 1, which is what this commentary is supposed to be about. But man, it's tempting to talk about BVS.
It is tempting. Just immediately declare our side on the internet. The Snyder fans are waiting with pitchforks and torches.
Just pick a fight with the Snyder fans. Episode 1. We really just want to burn all our bridges.
I was thinking that's why we decided we were going to start with Rebel Moon. I was like, I don't know, man. That could go really wrong for us if we go down that route.
But hey, look again. I'm a compassionate insect, as Hopper from A Bug's Life says. My favorite fictional character. In the interest of saying nice things, that shot of her coming out the door looked pretty cool. I like this Western vibe. Honestly, this feels more Star Wars-y than a lot of Star Wars stuff because it actually kind of has that New Hope, on the frontier kind of feel.
And it's not about. Well, now we're gonna make the Star Wars fans mad if we go down that route. Funny how the internet works that way. You throw a stone anywhere, you're bound to trigger one minefield.
Look, we just gotta go with open hearts and hope we're not making nobody mad.
I'd say it's okay to like a movie, but then I will be straight up ripping off of We Hate Movies. Fantastic podcast, by the way. I probably don't need to give them any free publicity because they already make much more money than I do, but still, good podcast.
Yeah, they don't need our help. But yeah, it's a good way just to say up front, we are fans of We Hate Movies, and this will probably begin as a bit of a ripoff, and we'll find our own voice at a certain point. I'm really not enjoying what's going on screen right now.
No, man, the Nazis we gotta make sure there is no doubt in anybody's mind that the Nazis are Nazis.
They're disgustingly, uncomfortably evil.
Mm-hmm.
And are going to do a lot of real gross stuff, so we know that they're bad. No, I didn't like that line one bit.
That's such a weird line, too. These people really have, a agricultural kink. That one dude wanted everybody to have sex so the crops will grow. This guy is calling this girl a sapling.
Well, he's like an evil... Yeah, he's like a perversion of that more pure-hearted sapling sprouting seeds idea. So
I'm just saying there's a lot of farming, kink, sex things going on in this universe.
Yeah, now it's being used for gross evil. This also is a problem I had with. I guess this will throw the BVS stores open, but like similar to how Batman's branding, like traffickers in that movie. I feel like I don't know. I don't need that level of darkness in a movie this goofy. But at least she's come to save the day, Sophia Botella here. Um, and I hope one of these guys asks her if she was inspired by Possession after she said she was. I think he said, "Did the director show you Possession?" Which is like even more embarrassing.
That is hilariously bad.
Well, hopefully that guy learned some lessons. Maybe he's playing one of these guys. I didn't get a good look at him.
You think they just gave him a role?
Yeah, he was.
She was his in. He was like, "Hey, do you remember me? I was that dude who really embarrassed himself a couple of years ago."
Yeah, like, hey, you asked a dumb question, but I like your moxie, kid. You want to be in Zack Snyder movies?
Oh. I do gotta say, I after Watchmen, I generally find myself bored with the way Zack Snyder does action.
The like slow mo speed ramping thing where it'll go like real fast and then real slow and then real fast again. Yeah.
Like I feel like I've seen this fight scene at least 3 or 4 times with him.
Oh yeah. I do appreciate kind of not how it's shot per se because this is pretty standard stuff, but for a Star Wars type movie, it is humans killing humans, which is at least usually they put them in stormtrooper costumes. Or
Now you say that, but the robot just showed up, so.
Yeah, but he's about to kill more humans, I bet, to save his buddy there who gave him the flowers.
Now I don't know if you remember, but they said they don't fight anymore. I'm sure you were paying attention, but the robots all stopped fighting when the king died. So the king died. The robots were, I guess, the king's guard. And well,
they
yeah.
Peace oath or something.
So they became like pacifists after the king died or something.
Ah. And did he just break that rule?
I mean, I guess he did. He kind of made it seem like an accident, so maybe the robots will give him a pass.
Maybe, yeah. He'll well, that's just like that. Isn't there some Jedi who's allowed to kill people willy nilly? Gets like a hall pass. The Conehead guy or somebody else.
You're thinking of the guy who's allowed to have sex with other people.
Oh,
It gets a pass.
Sorry, yeah. No, that's a different setup. Then I could have sworn there was some Jedi who gets like.
Well, there's that Jedi dude who's like allowed to be like a special ops Jedi more or less, which is
maybe that's what I was thinking.
its own thing.
I remember Conehead guy gets to have like a polygamist life because his species is endangered, which is very funny.
That dude gets to have all the sex he wants.
Yeah, just because you know what, and then Yoda's like, just try not to enjoy it, but all right, you can go ahead with it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. Maybe I was thinking of the special ops Jedi dude.
That dude is like constantly going to the dark side too, if I remember correctly.
And he keeps getting like, all right, you can come. We forgive you. Everyone goes to the dark side at least once.
Yeah, because his whole thing is like going undercover or something, so they have to like constantly forgive him for doing dark side stuff. I think he falls in love with bald-headed girl from the Clone Wars.
Oh, the Asajj Ventress?
Yeah, I think they have like a tie-in novel where they fall in love or something.
Well, that's kind of cool, but it is very funny. It's like when cops in movies, have to do cocaine while they're undercover and get hooked, I guess. It's that kind of setup, but with the dark side. Alright, so Dario's coming. I gotta say, Dario has not done very much in this movie, except cause trouble.
Except kind of screwed them over.
Yeah, like he kicks things off, but... And again, he's David Foley bug from A Bug's Life where they're like, oh, so he won't mess stuff up. Let's send him away.
Don't they manage in A Bug's Life to actually get the crops by working really hard, and he comes back and ruins all of them?
The inciting thing is he knocks all their crops off the ledge, and the grasshoppers get pissed.
Right, but I think then he leaves. He leaves.
With the circus bugs.
Comes back
to stop gathering food and party because they're like, these bugs are going to take care of our grasshopper problem. So he does screw up twice. Yeah, he screws it up twice. Ooh, some nice shots of the bird. See, this is kind of neat. Again, don't hurt me, Zack Snyder fans. I'm
sure they'll champion you. You thought it was neat.
Yeah, I like there's a lot of like horse action, and two lone badasses are going off into the unknown terrain on horses for adventure. I feel like that's a cool westerny sci-fi setup.
Fighting for the Realm is... I will say, Fighting for the Realm is a really cool way of describing space.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I like some of this terminology. It's kind of neat. I mean, that's half of writing, this kind of space opera is you just gotta write a basic synopsis with regular people words, and then go, what can I call it to gussy it up a little and make it not just another Star Wars. Now we're talking about Sindri. Robot. Oh, Belisarius. Oh, he relished the ecstasy of combat.
I guess the priest guys just follow around the war guys.
I guess so. Yeah, they're bosom buddies.
They kind of look like the you-know-who from Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, yeah, they totally do. They got that. They got that vibe.
I just watched that movie. I didn't finish it.
Trailer on the big screen is pretty rad.
Yeah, I didn't finish. I have like 15 minutes left of it. That's such a good movie.
Oh yeah, you were doing a Fury Road rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
As you do. But yeah. No. Again, not to be mean to Rebel Moon, but Fury Road, a little more compelling at this point. Though it's only 45 minutes into Rebel Moon. It might.
Oh yeah, no, we still have 2 hours left.
Ooh, 90 minutes. Yeah. That's that we could watch A Bug's Life in that time.
Just put on a.
All right, I'll get off A Bug's Life. I'll start making Three Amigos jokes.
I haven't talked about Bug's Life this much in probably since Bug's Life came out. To be honest with you,
probably since 1998 when I was 7. Okay, a different comparison. So, the classic Japanese movie Seven Samurai, which is kind of where all this kind of story of the village under attack and we, get warriors together to fight them off all came from. There was an anime remake of Seven Samurai called Samurai 7, where it was a dystopian sci-fi world, and one of them was a robot. So I actually wonder also if Zack Snyder might have gotten some ideas from that one too.
What a weird title. Let's just swap where the 2 words are at.
Yes, just to make sure that it is a remake, but we're
We're edgy.
Twist. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie, The West? Because of The Warrior, which great show, by the way. We were talking about it before this started. But because I was into The Warrior, I watched that Japanese samurai western movie, the one where he like goes to kill a princess of a clan, and she's a baby, and he takes her off and takes her to the west. Have you ever seen that? See, I don't think it's The Warrior's Way, but it might be The Warrior's Way.
It might be Way of the Warrior. I feel like that's enough of a, like, I know Lone Wolf and Cub is with the little baby he's carrying around. I feel like that's a common enough sci-fi adventure premise. Oh, they're giving each other a big hug.
The Nazis gotta go be Nazis together.
Yep. So these guys look more like your World War I era Germans. You're like the Kaiser. More than the Nazis. I guess this is like before the Tsar fell.
Do you think those two had a prior knowledge of each other? You think that was more of a, hey, I like you, you like me kind of situation?
Oh, yeah. It was like, it could have been like that photo of the sailor kissing the nurse. Like, they just went for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Because we were all celebrating? Maybe. So really, this is a tragedy, but, you know, they didn't, you know, that wasn't going to last.
Oh, you think they would have drifted apart?
Because, I mean, they just, you know, it was like how those couples in reality shows, like The Amazing Race, rarely stay together afterwards. Because, you know, you get together under very specific circumstances, but maybe it doesn't endure. Now, this part reminds me of that GameStop commercial when these guys are singing Such a Perfect Day.
Yeah, it is kind of GameStop commercially.
Yeah. Power to the players.
Oh, GameStop.
Now, speaking of that, I did not watch that movie about the guy who shorted GameStop.
I've not seen that movie either.
Nope, but, well, I'm sure we can talk about it for 5 minutes instead of Rebels. No, this is alright. She's swinging a big flag. This is kind of like those BVS scenes where Superman's saving the day, but it's very, you know, scary and bad for some reason.
Sure. Superman's doing something in those scenes.
Yeah, he's doing heroic things like you know, saving a rocket that exploded, but all the voiceovers are telling us that he's bad, and humanity, we don't want him.
Yep, we don't want none of that. We don't want none of that there, Superman.
Nah.
Paul Revere, something, one by candle, two by road. Whatever the fuck Lex Luthor is saying in that scene.
Oh yeah, he's just going nuts. He's just quoting everything he can. He's like, the redcoats are coming, and then he's saying
damn it, we're talking about BVS again.
towards Byzantium or whatever. He's just quoting every Western society thing in the world. Alright, so, but yeah, moving on. We're at the port city of Providence. Ooh, the Veld. Again, I'm not being mean to Zack Snyder, because I like this very feudal Japan-looking village here. That's pretty cool.
Yep, we went from Vikings to feudal Japan.
Yep. And then poor Hawkshaw is getting beaten up, I guess.
What an oddly specific machine.
Yes, I guess it's the full extreme of the Star Wars thing where all the droids have very specific functions. This is a spider entrapment droid.
Do you think it has any other uses besides that specific use?
I don't know. I think it looks like it only serves the function of grabbing people from the ground in that very specific way and trapping them in this dentist chair looking...
Maybe dentists use it.
That's true. This is how dental work happens in this...
in the future.
Oh, this is like the cantina of Rebel Moon. Where we're we're seeing all these different critters.
Oh boy, here comes the only reason to watch this movie.
Ooh, let's see. What am I gonna see here? Oh yeah, that guy from Bright. He rules. This orc cop.
Right, I haven't thought of that movie in 5 years until you brought it up. Weren't there going to be like a million Bright movies too? Wasn't that going to be like a huge franchise?
Yeah, that was supposed to be like the new Star Wars trilogy. It was going to be this epic Bright saga. So the Leviticus and General Titus.
Those are names, yes.
Yeah, I'm not. I've lost the thread a little bit. Oh, they're doing the old Ponda Baba New Hope. You know, the he doesn't like you. I don't like you either. Oh wait, no, he's just a pimp. He's not. Oh no, he's picking a fight. Okay.
I don't think so. I think that's aggressive cupping.
He's like.
I think that's just his move, David.
He's not a good salesman. He's not really pitching me on this because he's trying to kill me very quick.
I really think that that's just how that dude picks up guys at a bar. He just goes up and immediately grabs their junk in an aggressive manner.
Oh, jeez, that's not a good way to do it, but I guess no one ever taught him better. You got all these cabaret-looking guys and gals. Oh my gosh, there he is, Charlie Hunnam.
In all his glory.
Yep.
Which at least gives this movie a letter grade. Because...
For sure. Now I'm paying more attention, because we're both fans of this guy.
Oh man, we'll have to tell the story one day of the... No, it wasn't the very first thing I made you watch. The very first thing I made you watch was Supernatural, and we all know how that ended. But the second thing I made you watch was Sons of Anarchy.
For sure, and by the end I was carrying the cross more than you. Because last season you were kind of skipping through a lot of it, if I remember right. Which I don't blame you for, because it gets a little rough. But now this is tough, because I want to talk and give this movie the respect it deserves, because Charlie Hunnam's on screen, but I also kind of just want to talk about Pacific Rim, and how that's also...
infinitely better. Also as a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, and as a crazy, wacky world where they're, like, carrying grubs around. Like, compare this scene to, your Ron Perlman as Hannibal Chow there, and his, crazy world.
I think, and I world building. But then again, Del Toro, I mean, that dude just does world building so well.
Oh yeah.
The Golden Army is still amazing for what it conveys to you in this short amount of time it's on screen.
Oh yeah, Golden Army, that troll market scene which is why like this is supposed to be his cantina scene, just like that troll market scene is in Hellboy 2, and I feel like that movie has a million times as many cool looking monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this has, I guess that candle bartender, he's alright.
Yeah, no, he's cool.
I like that grub thing that guy's getting high off of.
I think that grub thing was using that guy as a puppet.
Oh, it was like the brain slugs from Futurama.
Yeah.
Alright.
Or like Mr. Mine. Well, no, I can't say it's Mr. Mine or whatever that dude is from Shazam that we never get to see.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of a Mr. Mind, who, I sure was excited for that to be the second movie, and then wasn't.
I can't believe they had the audacity to bring back that post-credit scene, knowing full well that was never going to be a thing.
Yeah, no, it was like when they do remasters of Final Fantasy games. It was just the same post-credit scene, but with some updated effects, I guess. Oh, yeah, there's my boy with all his rings. Oh, so he's kind of, well, he's the Han Solo, but he's also a little bit of the Aragorn there from Fellowship of the Ring. You know how they meet him in the bar.
Yeah, he's got a little Aragorn going on. Doesn't that dude wear the same kind of coat with the hood?
Oh, impressive.
It's amazing how him and Jason Momoa have the same look but pull it off in vastly different ways.
Yeah, they both kind of make it work. They still got the trench coat and the man bun. They're pulling off. Oh, he's more of an opportunist.
I think they wanted to wink, wink, nudge, nudge you a little bit more on the Han Solo thing.
Yeah, let you know that he's, he doesn't have a heart of gold quite yet, but he might grow one. So I gotta say, I was initially excited about all the plant and seed talk, but at this stage, there's not a lot of chemistry between her and Dario there.
No, not even remotely.
And I feel like Charlie Hunnam is at least, making eyes at these people a little more. He's bringing some more chemistry to this affair so far. This movie is also very funny with the subtitles on because it just said the Tawau class engine roars.
I guess it's better than ancient lamentation music.
Oh yeah, I hear that a lot.
Never will not be funny.
These are like decent spaceships, but I feel like post Star Wars, people have had trouble coming up with interesting shapes for ships to be in.
I think, for all that I want to talk up Jupiter Ascending, I cannot tell you what their ships look like, and I just watched that movie maybe 3 days ago.
It's very simple with Star Wars, but at least, X-Wings, Y-Wings, the TIE Fighters, they kind of have, distinct shapes, like the half-eaten cookie, the Millennium Falcon, whatever that is.
Well, Star Wars is, they have that whole, we're going to do the letters of the alphabet thing going for them, too, that really makes it,
easy for 5-year-olds to understand.
Yeah. Like an X-Wing literally looks like an X, and...
Yeah. Oh, okay, so we're getting some fan service for this horrible Nazi? Or I guess not, he's like, doing weird stuff.
From what I understand of it, the ships, at least these Motherland ships or whatever they're calling themselves, look a lot like the Warhammer ships. Like a lot like the Warhammer ships.
And this guy's got some weird... He's doing some autoerotic asphyxiation with the ship or something, is what that was looking like.
Something like that.
Oh, you know what? Battlestar Galactica has very impressive...
Oh, dude, we could talk about Battlestar Galactica.
I can't believe we've gone this far without it.
You know what? Honestly, we have gone too far in this movie without talking about the greatest sci-fi thing of all time. I said it.
Greatest series ever made, and I'm including Star Wars and Rebel Moon.
I've said it. We're gonna make the Snyder and the Star Wars fans angry in one fell swoop. Battlestar Galactica, best sci-fi ever.
Oh yeah, no contest. Yeah, those ships. You got your Raptors and your Cylon base stars. They all look pretty distinct and memorable.
Mm-hmm. You got a whole ship that's just a floating thing of bodies.
Mm-hmm. That show Lex, that weird Canadian sci-fi thing, that had a cool looking ship. It's like a robot dragonfly. Oh, we got a Griffin. Sorry, from points to Rebel Moon, it stopped me from talking about Lex, because that Griffin's kind of neat.
I wonder if he'll have to bow to it, like a hippogriff.
Probably, and then it'll get executed. And they'll time travel. Now, well, I'm looking at this Daniel Day-Lewis, in Last of the Mohicans looking guy.
He did get the hot designation from Jamie.
All right, cool. So, yeah, you got to catch me up to speed on the hot or not rankings for Rebel Moon's little band of heroes.
I'm pretty sure he was the only one that got the hot ranking.
So yeah, I think.
I mean, Charlie Hunnam got it as well, but that's just a given.
I see. Yeah, that one we already know. But I thought maybe the man bun cost him some points. And yeah, I feel like Dario is just a little too not Diego Luna here. He's just a little too generic, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, he instantly fades into the background whenever he's in the whatever he.
I forgot that he brought him along and that they're kind of in love, right?
No, she's in love. He's in love with her. I don't think it's mutually there.
Okay,
but
because I know when they were talking up, it's time for everybody to get down for the harvest. And I thought they were maybe making eyes at each other. Maybe he was the only one that was actually making eyes. Oh, he can ride him. Now here I'm wondering how useful this critter would be against, the Warhammer ships.
Well, I hate to tell you, but they're not even here to get that critter. They're here to get this dude. The critter is not. The critter is not a part of his deal.
Okay, so the Griffin will not join the party, like in RPG terms.
As far as I remember, no. It's so all this is right now. All we're doing right now is recruiting this one dude. Recruiting this one dude is at least going to take 10 to 15 minutes. Which
I'm not opposed to. Like I'm a Canto Bight fan, so I don't mind, digressions like this. He's talking smooth to this Griffin.
But Magnificent Seven, and I'm talking about the most recent one. Everybody kind of gets together pretty fast. You know what I mean? It's not a big thing.
Nah, and even Seven Samurai, like the OG, which is 3.5 hours, but at least that one is, roughly first hour, we get the band together, hour 2, they train to save the village, and then hour 3, we're just fighting for the village, Whereas this is over 2 hours and is part 1 of 2, so we got a lot of time before we start saving the village, I'm assuming.
Kind of funny how his whole thing was to gain that Griffin's trust, and then he jumps on its back and immediately muzzles it.
Yeah, he really, he kind of gave that Griffin a raw deal. He just lied to it. Talked about how, I know a lot of people have hurt you over the years, but I'm going to treat you right. And first thing he does is, enslave this thing. This is also very Avatar, not to bring up a million other sci-fi things.
Now, Avatar, I cannot as easily say better sci-fi movie.
Maybe Way of Water, I think I would go.
Yes, A Way of Water, definitely.
Yeah, I'd rather be learning the Way of Water than the Way of the Griffin here. Or the third one, the Tulkun Rider. I think that's what they said the subtitle is.
Wait, what? Is that what they're calling it?
When they announced the 5 Avatar subtitles, one of them was the Tulkun Rider, and then there's one called the Seed Bearer, so I'm not sure if that's Avatar 3 or 4, or vice versa.
Oh, man. I can't wait to be on Dev's bed and find out that Avatar 4 is finally coming out.
Yeah, in 2089, we're gonna get the
Yeah.
fourth one.
With James Cameron has converted himself into a floating head like Futurama.
Yeah,
He's just a
exactly.
head in a jar.
He's gonna be the face of Bo there, making Avatar 4 finally.
Oh.
Oh, he's jumping off onto that thing in that Zack Snyder slow-mo way.
Yep. He sure is riding that griffin. Giving
so this
it.
movie, in my neck of the woods, was out in 70mm for like a day, and I was kind of tempted to go, and I wonder if some of this might have been cool in a very big theater format.
Yeah, I mean, visually stunning. It's kind of great. Did it get a movie release? I feel like this should have been an IMAX thing for certain.
I think it just got like that very limited rollout in select cities and theaters for whatever reason, because Netflix is not always the best about. Well, this is like the Free Willy moment as well. Yeah, which is a shame. I feel like if nothing else, I should be enjoying this on a very large screen. Well, like
people were saying the same thing about Roadhouse, the new Roadhouse. When I watched the YouTube trailer for it, like 90% of the comments were, "Why isn't this in theaters?" Which I was like, "Yeah, accurate, totally accurate thing to say."
The director that even just came out and like said, "I disavow the movie and I'm not doing publicity for it because they refused to release it theatrically." He felt like betrayed.
Did you ever see the trailer for it?
I agree. No, we might have to do a live viewing.
God, we might have to. That might have to be what we. That might have to be our second commentary track. It's just you reacting to the Roadhouse trailer.
Have the viewers at home sync up their Roadhouse trailers so that they can react as I react. That sounds good. I'm liking this guy. He reminds me of Mac there from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
He does look like Mac.
Yeah, that traitorous scum.
You know, I still haven't seen Dial of Destiny.
Oh, me neither. That was another one where this year there were a lot of franchises that I finally decided I didn't need to watch entries in if I didn't want to. So yeah, there was like Marvel, Indiana Jones, the last Transformers, and Fast and Furious. Were all things I skipped. Might get to it eventually, but I just decided to break the cycle of violence. I don't need to watch these blockbusters if I don't want to.
Not in theaters, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is they'll be on streaming if you just wait a month anyways. Which is kind of crazy in and of itself, but that's the world we live in now.
Yeah, for sure. And also extra weird. Yeah, I would totally have watched this one in theaters if I'd had a longer window to do so.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me. Maybe I am one of those Snyder fans that I'm disparaging.
Well, you gotta give... You and I, at the very least, sci-fi is, our bread and butter. You gotta support it when it's out there. Like, I would have went and seen The Creator if I had had a chance in movie theaters, which, again, it was a good movie, but, just to support sci-fi being in the theaters as well.
Not same, yeah, and I was able to catch the tail end of the Creator release. This lady looks cool.
Oh, did you see Creator in the theaters? Did you see The Creator in the theaters then?
Yeah, I was able to, at the very end, right before it was going to disappear.
Oh, man, that must have been such a good experience.
Very, very rad, yeah. That alone kind of won me over on it, more than it... I'm more of a fan of that movie than a lot of people I've heard, and I think a lot of it is just because, seeing it in theaters was a very cool time. Is this going to be number 5 of the 7 warriors we're amassing?
She's my favorite of the bunch, just for the hat alone.
She does look pretty cool already. Like I said, that hat's working for me. She looks like...
I think she's the most 7 samurai of the 7 samurai so far.
For sure, she seems like a serious badass, whereas the other ones are just kind of these goons. Well, I guess he rode a griffin, which wasn't bad. Charlie Hunnam didn't even do anything, and they said they didn't like him, so I have no idea why he's been invited.
I think that he's just helping them recruit people at this point.
Okay, yeah, he's not an official member.
Well, he's only in it for himself, David. He's a smuggler. He's a real Han Solo. If you didn't catch the drift.
You're not wrong.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Nah, I doubt it. I think he's gonna just take the money and run. He's not gonna suddenly come back to save the day. See, I knew she was Lovecrafty. She's like worshiping this spider thing. I thought she was giving me a Lovecraftian vibe. Weird spider lady. Do you remember that Doctor Who episode? I think it's Donna's first episode where he fights this evil spider lady, and it's this giant spider with, you know, the upper half is a woman, but the prop doesn't move. Like, the spider legs are all just, they look like they're welded to the floor. So the top half is like wiggling around and going on an evil rant, but no other part of that monster is moving. So this is a little improvement on that.
Doctor Who. We're really just hitting all the franchises.
I want to mention every sci-fi that has ever existed.
No, I was about to say we're really gonna make sure we anger every sci-fi franchise, because you and I could talk about the latest, the last special of Doctor Who, all the livelong day.
Oh, geez, that might have to be another commentary. We'll get into that by generation another time.
That has to be a top. That has to be a top 3. David and Tanner moment is watching you find out about by generation in real time via text messaging.
Watching them do yet again. David Tennant gets to split in half and live a happy life, even though we already did that. Oh boy. But yeah, listeners at home in the comments, if you want to keep a running total of everything we mentioned that's not Rebel Moon,
or every franchise fan base that we piss off.
Yes, every single nerd thing that we're picking fights with. Though again, peace and love, like Ringo Starr says, and Mash the Stampede. I'm trying to say nice stuff. She's fighting the spider lady for some reason to save that kid, I think, and this looks pretty cool.
So the context, David, if I may, as the Rebel Moon expert I am, the context is they came to this planet, started mining her territory, killed her babies, and so she decided to retaliate by taking their babies, and they hired this girl to get their babies back.
Oh, so I'm kind of rooting for the spider lady actually now, because yeah.
Yep, it's one of those. It's one of those, you know, that completely original. You don't see it very often trope of humans are the real bad guys.
For sure. But there's also better and worse humans, because the Nazis are way, way bad.
Apparently.
This bounty hunter is only kind of bad. This spider thing also kind of looks like the Borg Queen.
Gee, I was just thinking, she looks very Borg Queen.
So yeah, we can throw that out there too. I kind of don't mind this, because I'm a big fan of those Ray Harryhausen movies from the 60s, like Jason and the Argonauts and Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, where they would it would basically just be an excuse to have a lot of set pieces where they'd fight a stop motion monster, and some of this kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that.
Better than the Griffin.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I actually kind of dig this makeup. It looks cool. I like her spider eyes on the head.
Yeah, I could do without the lightsabers, but, you know.
Yeah, but again, this was just him crossing things out. from his Star Wars script that didn't happen. And you got Hawkeye here, Last of the Mohicans.
More Last of the Mohicans than Hawkeye.
Oh yeah. I'm a little taken aback because I was riffing, and then just as we stopped, this is an emotional scene, so I kind of was feeling briefly guilty that this commentary has been just the goofs.
I mean, you get the gist so far. Their village is under attack. They're going to get people to fight for the village. You know, all new, completely original stuff that's never been in a movie before.
Oh no, for sure. This is like a new way of approaching narrative. So I'm really having to keep up with this avant-garde thing. Also, since it's half a movie, even if I don't understand, I have 2 more hours to catch up when part 2 arrives.
When they do the recap.
Yeah, they'll do a previously on Rebel Moon.
I imagine the recap will be them explaining to the robot what happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. I thought the robot was going to be, part of the crew.
Yeah, you thought they'd get all that Anthony Hopkins, star quality on board.
Not, I guess even he was like, you got me for 5 lines. Alright, we're getting more of her backstory. Uh-oh. Scene isn't too bad either. It's kind of like those Kristen Stewart Snow White things.
I was just thinking, it is very Snow White's and the Huntsman.
The dark and evil forest and those scary birds.
There should be more things that is like sci-fi, but what if we took our major inspiration from sci-fi from the Grimm fairy tales?
Oh, definitely. There should be maybe an outer space Cinderella where they have to go across the planet to find the right shoe to fit, but it's different alien feet, tentacles and crab claws and that sort of stuff.
Or like I'm thinking like Hellboy, the Golden Army, but it's like all like ships floating. It's like big monolithic rock ships that are like floating out in the middle of space, and they've got like that red hue to them that the Golden Army had.
Yeah, that kind of copper, like steampunk look.
Yeah,
that would be pretty rad. Yeah, there should be a Hellboy, but in space.
Exactly.
Would be like
See?
Chronicles of Riddick. That's the closest you get.
I mean, it's no Amityville in space.
Oh man, that should be, again, add that to the coming soon list.
No, that we really have talked about every sci-fi thing in existence. If we've hit Amityville in space, then we've definitely reached the bottom of the well.
Let me do like a lightning round. Each of us will get to name just 10 for no reason. All right, Krull, Pendragon, the Sapphire and Steel, the Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. All right, I'm not doing this.
Oh, what are we naming?
Princess Bride here is in this movie. Carrie Elwes, that's cool. Like a Russell Crowe beard.
I thought it was more Dune.
Oh, it's very Dune. Yeah, he's totally Duke Leto Atreides there. Now, speaking of Dune, I'm excited that they announced that Josh Brolin is going to get to play his musical instrument in the second one, because they apparently cut out the scene where he plays in the first one.
Aww.
Ooh, we're getting a gladiator.
Are we? I guess we're still recruiting. Who?
Well, the guy who says who to start with.
I know, I did the meme.
Oh, good. Sorry, I'm sorry. I set up a joke, and then when you said the joke, I got tricked by the joke.
Especially because that meme is my bread and butter.
Yeah, no, every other day I'm getting spammed that ooh.
Oh man, my favorite one of that will be when I did the Black Adam on it.
Oh yeah, just ooh. Left and right. That movie's nothing but ooh.
Good for that guy.
It's funny because he's in Gladiator. Now he's in Rebel Moon as a gladiator. And this year he's going to be in Gladiator 2 as one of the few returning actors from the first one.
I'm always glad that guy's getting work.
For sure. I like him in How to Train Your Dragon 2 as the big scary bad guy.
Yep, he's good. Oh man, he's so good. Another thing that's supposedly getting live action.
Yeah, they're doing another one. They're doing a live action. Now DreamWorks is getting in on the live action remake.
I've heard that they're just getting back all the voice actors too for it. Like, I'm pretty sure Russell Crowe is coming back to play the dad.
Ooh, nice. No, wait. Wasn't that Gerard?
No, yes, you're right. It is Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler should be in Highlander.
See, he should be maybe the Kurgan in the reboot. Like, he'll be the villain, and then they gotta get Christopher Lambert to play Sean Connery. I feel like that's the only way.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just the cycle.
Yeah. But she's giving him a pep talk. I hope he gets a cool introduction like the other ones did, that she doesn't just, like, talk him into it. Well, there's less than an hour left to this movie. And we're only just now getting most of the band together.
We have not finished recruiting. I think knowing you're a part one really hurts a movie.
I think so too. Unless you gotta do it just right. Like I think Dune does an okay job of, at least Dune sets it up like, oh, part one is the tragedy. It's gonna be all the downfall, and then part two will be the we're gonna get our vengeance or whatever.
Maybe the best part one of what we've gotten, because Spider-Verse definitely does not benefit from being a part one.
No, so that's stuff of that, which I'm a big fan of Across the Spider-Verse, but the fact that it's half a movie, I do think really knocks it a letter grade.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. What Dead Reckoning, I guess, does a good enough job of knowing it's a part one, but
Felt mostly satisfied at the end of Dead Reckoning. It wasn't too bad or annoying. A cliffhanger. It mainly is down to like the Ilsa stuff, because everyone is expecting her to come back. So if she doesn't, that'll be weird.
Mm-hmm.
But if she does, that'll also be weird. I think they kind of doom themselves either way. Spoilers for Dead Reckoning Part 1, by the way.
Which is not a Part 1 anymore, according to Paramount Plus.
Alright, Leviticus. This is where we learn that you can't eat raw fish or crabs or something.
That dude looks like the dude from The Wire. That bald dude.
Oh, the Herc the cop?
Yeah, he looks a lot like her.
I just learned he's a character in The Irishman, but he's under really heavy prosthetics, so you can't tell it's him. They just did him up like the Penguin in that movie for some reason. Herc. Oh no, he killed that bald man.
In a very I guess that chair does two things. It traps people like that, and then allows you to kill them that way as well.
Yeah, allows you to do the Anton Chigurh move on him. Now this guy just looks like Oppenheimer in his suit.
Dude, oh my. Okay, so this backdrop looks horrible.
Yeah, this is very. See, this is what I'm talking about. How sometimes, like in BVS, when he does nighttime CGI, it looks really, really like grody and murky for some reason.
That looks straight out of like an old, I don't know, an old music video, like an early 2000s music video.
I was gonna say it looked like the Evanescence music video
There
where
you
it
go.
zooms in through the buildings.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. Wake me up! Wake me inside!
They really should have just used that. They really should have just used that scene from Daredevil as the music video. Just put it on loop.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, very very Daredevil too. Yeah, where he's in his little hidey hole, Ben Affleck, in his soundproofing.
Yeah, man.
Now we're talking to the Gungans.
Oh, I guess he didn't get his cool recruitment because now that he's just there.
Just yelled at him, and he's like, "All right, I'll be part of this club."
Who would even live on this planet? Like, I have questions.
But hey, you know, love it or leave it. You got to be patriotic. Stand in the place where you live. No, now Zion has shown up. Crew of the Nebuchadnezzar.
Damn, we really have hit every sci-fi thing. Matrix Revolution, much better movie.
All right, here's our new content. Oh, Matrix Revolution for sure. You get him fighting the train man.
No, not yeah, no, I've got the what
Resurrection.
Resurrection,
Yeah.
Matrix Resurrection, much better movie.
Yes, agreed.
Let's make the Matrix fans mad at us too, as well, since we're already.
I'm going to set the internet on fire, but hey, like that movie.
We might be the only two people in the world that do, though.
I don't know. It's got enough of it's got its acolytes.
Does it?
There are dozens of us. As
okay, good.
Develop. But yeah, at this point, it's kind of like every shot I'm just gonna say in a different sci-fi movie. It reminds me of.
And like, to be fair, there are no, it's hard to find an original idea nowadays. Almost everything is gonna inadvertently parry off something else. But I do think Rebel Moon is very much too much of a wink and a nudge. Because Zack Snyder doesn't really do wink and a nudge. Everything he does has to be like, hit you on the head with a hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, loud and operatic or whatever. But look, and also, yeah, to be fair, some of these are just me going like, wow, a spaceship, just like Star Wars, which maybe is a little much. And look, to its credit, it is very pastiche-y. It is just Warhammer. But I still maintain, even with like 45 minutes to go, it does look cool. I am actually enjoying most of these doohickeys and spaceships and crazy costumes. Also, Tanner, as Rebel Moon lore expert, who are these people?
They're the rebels. They're basically the rebellion.
Oh, these are the guys
that he fed. Yeah, he fed at one point. That's why that's really the only reason why he came on the trip. Because he knew these guys from before.
Yeah, he's like, look, these guys, they're kind of cool with me, so we can, I can talk for him. Even though now that this is happening, he doesn't seem to be doing much of the negotiation.
No, he's just kind of along for the ride. It's kind of funny because he looks like Han Solo a little bit. like in the way he's presented and the way he's styled. But he's very clearly not the Han Solo.
No, he's just the third wheel. I don't even know what he fits in, because he's not really Luke or Obi-Wan or Princess Leia, really. He's just some guy.
Yeah, he's really just some guy who stumbled on a spaceship at one point. Oh, and got sexually cupped at a bar.
Yes. Got harassed by a pig man at a bar. And all these guys are looking like them war boys from Fury Road. They got the mascara on the eyes.
Oh man, if one of them sprayed blue all over its face and said "Witness me," that would be a letter grade in and of itself. I know we're getting on to the movie about parroting other movies, but you just can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with parroting.
There's only 45 minutes left. Like, we might as well not stop now. It's too late. That's what this commentary is. But yes, we are war boys. Fukushima Kama crazy war boys.
So it's implied they have like a really special relationship by that phrase. But why was she standing in the back then?
She was just milling around. Then noticed he was giving a speech.
Sure.
Was like, I should probably go show some.
You know who he looks like? Just because this is inevitable at this point. He looks like Bishop from Days of Future Past.
Oh, totally. He's got a very Bishop hairstyle,
and he's carrying a big gun, just like Bishop did.
He's a very 90s X-Men for sure. Like, he's got some cable there too. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch Days of Future Past as a commentary and the Rogue Cut.
Oh, I've never seen the Rogue Cut either. That would be a treat.
That'd be kind of fun because I'm curious where they. I think I saw the Rogue Cut and I couldn't even remember where
where the rogue of it all was added.
Yeah. So that always struck me as very weird because Rogue was kind of, the audience like introduction character through the first of those X-Men, and then when they introduce Shadowcat in X-Men 3, it kind of becomes the Kitty Pryde show. Like, she takes over for Anna Paquin.
Even though she's not really anything in the movie, nor does anything in the movie either.
Yeah. But it's also very important. So, Steve, look, I guess she's probably gonna smooch Charlie Hunnam, not Dario, right?
Now, well, let me ask you this: Charlie Hunnam has been with them since they left the planet. How many lines has Charlie Hunnam had since they left the planet?
Not very many, but I've still found him very, very compelling as a screen presence. So my eyes are drawn to him naturally. Maybe just because he's handsome, but either way, it's even if he has no lines, he's the main character.
To be clear, he is just now agreeing to join their rebellion.
Oh, so maybe see it wasn't even a flirtation. He was just saying like, all right, we're gonna go for it. The shite in the cargo hold. I think in some interview, Charlie Hunnam said that he's a big fan of Jordan Peterson and the intellectual dark web, which I'm not sure what to make of. But
Wait, what?
I think he said that's what he likes doing in his spare time, is reading Jordan Peterson and other members of the intellectual dark web.
What is the intellectual dark web?
That's like that cadre of like young, angry, conservative men who seem cool on the internet, but mostly just cry a lot in their videos.
Oh. Well, I guess everybody needs a hobby.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? And he's handsome, so I'll let it pass. And this is a weird. See, this is like the Gungan people. They got all messed up.
Man, the hype. These guys really are the hype people from Fury Road.
Yeah, very much. They look almost exactly like it.
You know, they have yet to explain what that staff is from. I mean, it's clearly an animal bone, but
Maybe it's a griffin bone.
wouldn't that be funny? The griffin comes back and it needs to avenge its father.
For some revenge. I mean, I feel like he's gonna ride that griffin again in the second one. It's like Chekhov's gun. You gotta set up. If you set up the gun in the first act, it has to go off in the
I don't know.
third
You
act.
say that, but Zack Snyder seems like the person who would include a scene like that and have no intention of returning back to it, just because he thought it was cool.
Maybe. So this is kind of a chase movie.
I guess.
He's like he's pursuing them.
Well, it's 90% a recruitment movie. That's what we've been doing for the last like hour and a half.
Yeah, I know, and it's only half a movie at that. Ooh.
That's what's crazy to me about it. It's just we have legitimately spent an hour and 30 minutes like recruiting 5 or 6 people.
It's nuts, and then yeah, on top of that, we have over 2 hours to go, and I guess the extended director's R-rated cut is even longer. The one that's going to come out of this first half of a movie.
People got to stop letting Zack Snyder do this. You got to start telling this dude, "Hey, you need to make movies in a concise manner."
Even look. I'm not trying to start a fight with anybody because clearly his 8-hour director's cuts make a lot of people happy, and I don't want to rain on their parade, but it's not for me, and I feel like fool me once, shame on you, because now he's saying for the 5th time that his R-rated director's cut that's even longer is even better, and I'm just not feeling it. That's kind of a cool shot.
That is a cool shot. But like, what would even a longer cut of this movie be? Just more scenes of him of the recruitment stuff? Like the way this movie is shot, you can't tell me a longer cut of the movie will add more to the overall plot because the overall plot doesn't begin until the second movie now at this point. Unless something's magically going to happen in the next...
Sorry, go ahead.
Unless something magically is going to happen in the next 39 minutes that's going to significantly advance it.
Well, that's what I'm waiting on. I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe Gladiator guy gets a cool fight scene in the extended cut.
Maybe. I mean, that's kind of worth the price of admission, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe they both had like introductory fight scenes that were cut. So now they got a full army of googads and doodads.
And they basically stopped to drop off cargo. That's what they're doing right now.
I gotta say, I'm really bummed that robot has not come back yet. The Anthony Hopkins bot. I feel like I was sold on him being, part of the cause. He's just gone. Got these starships that were meant to fly. Reach out and touch the sky. See, I'm running out of things.
So now we've just moved into Starship adjacent pop music.
Yeah. That's where I'm left. That guy hitting that alien with the staff reminded me that there did used to be I believe a YouTube page of just a guy hitting watermelons with like battle staffs. That was his thing.
I believe it.
Yeah, he would just show off these different cool Gandalf-looking staffs, and then he would just in a slow motion, in slow motion photography, just hit watermelons over and over with them.
Oh, something is finally happening.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this nighttime stuff and this planet is not super exciting to me. I agree. It's kind of got that Reminds me of that bit in Rogue One where Mads Mikkelsen's talking in Lorraine Planet, and they keep going, Diego Luna, take the shot, or whatever, and he's not. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Jyn Erso does, I forget. Oh no, it's more of these dental chairs.
I guess they get a lot of play in this universe.
They're very effective. It immobilized. Like, why did you spend an hour getting these guys if these chairs can immediately capture them?
So I don't know if you've realized yet, but Charlie Hunnam has betrayed them all.
He's betrayed the cause, yeah.
The cause he only invested in like 5 minutes ago.
Oh man, I feel like he's gonna do a double switcheroo though.
Oh, you think he's gonna be secretly good, huh?
I just a thought. I mean, I could be wrong, but because this is half the movie.
But here, so just to bring it back around, all the people they recruited was people he wanted to go recruit. So basically, what Charlie Hunnam has spent the last hour and a half doing is just rounding up people to betray, and that's what we've been watching for the last hour and a half.
Yeah, but I guess it makes sense. Is he a bounty hunter?
No, he's a smuggler.
That's right. Like Han Solo. Maybe he just picked people that, he was going to get a good price for. I don't know.
I guess, but still, isn't that just it just seems like a really ineffective way to get money. Like he's saying right now that this girl is super important and is going to grant him a lot of money. That she's like the main course of his buffet of people that he's betrayed. But the way he's talking, it sounds like she's going to get him a lot of money. Why then go recruit everybody else?
It seems like you could have just taken her and Dario there straight to the baddies, like from the bar.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's like, oh yeah, I thought this was a good way to round up a bunch of people and sell them. But again, you just said that this girl is like worth her weight in gold. So
yeah,
why then recruit a bunch of other people?
Not a clue. I guess, yeah, to double, triple, quadruple his payoff.
I guess.
More of these bright orc cops in the background.
I feel like you at least needed to give him beef with like half of these people. And have him be like, oh, I'm trying to redeem myself. Oh, I'm trying to, make amends. And then in reality, he just wants to get rid of the people who don't like him.
That's probably part of it, at least. Maybe, yeah, he just wants to see. All these guys made him mad at one point.
I understand. He's literally the main guy being like, why are you here? It's just...
Yeah, I don't know why he's here either. I think it's a very good question. His hair is incredibly well coiffed. I don't know how he makes that work during all this stress.
Oh, are we gonna have to re-explain who all these people are? We just watched an hour and a half of.
No, look, you're saying that, but because I've talked over this entire movie, this is very useful information. She's trying to avenge her slaughtered children. She goes by the name Nemesis, which I did not pick up on. He's really good to talk to all of them, though. Wow. Oh, this is like Mulan. He's like, oh, you're the soldier from the mountain. Oh, never mind. Oh, he's gonna do like a Reservoir Dogs. Like, cutting ears.
This implies he didn't know who Charlie Hunnam had. So did Charlie Hunnam just not explain who he had well enough?
He was just taking it on the word of Charlie Hunnam that he would have a good haul of important people.
I guess.
And for some reason, Dario didn't deserve the dentist chair.
I guess they thought he was so bad at this that he didn't need to bother. I'm sure those dentist chairs are expensive.
Yeah.
Would you put not Dario in a dentist chair?
I don't know who I'd put in a dentist chair. Maybe, what's his name? Darth Bane from Star Wars? He's probably worth
a dentist chair.
Nazis. Maybe Burt Reynolds? He would be worth it. Oh, they're making him do the deed. Do this weird cattle gun.
I love how Charlie Hunnam has gone from being just background character to evil space Nazi. In the course of 30 seconds.
He's the greatest character in this movie and maybe in cinema history because he goes through a lot of changes. He looks cool.
And now he's dead.
That's the end of him?
Yeah, we were talking over it. Diego Luna finally proved his worth. He killed him.
I just thought you should, shot. I thought it might have been a Star Trek thing, the phaser was set to stun.
It's a giant rod that jams into the base of your skull. What stun setting could it have?
Ain't no way you can get up from that.
Yeah, he put it under his chin and hit the button.
So I guess that was kind of a twist on the Han Solo thing, where he turns out to have just been a jerk.
So apparently, how the chair works is you put the thing in, you twist it, you hit the button, you kill them, and then it immediately releases them so they can flop onto the floor. But if you don't push the button and you just take the thing out, it also immediately releases them and pushes them onto the floor.
Very bad idea. Yeah.
It's just not a... Oh, he's got his whalebone.
He's ready to fight with his walking stick again.
Oh no, he's just leaving. Okay.
See, this is like the climax of a movie, I feel like. But there's another entire second movie to go. And a third one, because I think he says after these two he wants to complete a trilogy.
Oh my, yeah. I'm sure he does.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm not sure if that's gonna
technically, he completed a trilogy. He had Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League.
With the Snyder Cut, yeah. So he made his trilogy, but I guess he wants to make another trilogy here. And he never got to make more Owls of Ga'Hoole, unfortunately.
Well, he's got to keep proving himself to Netflix, so Netflix will finally buy the DC franchise, so the Snyder heads can get their wish of having the Justice League on Netflix.
Should just have Zack Snyder direct every single DC property. Yeah, that sounds great. Simultaneous to James Gunn. For sure, I look forward to when that'll happen.
Is this guy about to jump at this ship with just a spear?
I think so. He's gonna do a slow-mo. Well, Furiosa there watches.
She does look like Furiosa. I think that's even the same shade of blue.
Oh, another Snyder shot. Jumping at something.
He missed!
Oh, this is also kind of Avatar-y, because there's a bunch of spears going into a helicopter.
I'm so glad we spent the last hour and a half recruiting this guy. Just so he could do this one thing.
He did one cool thing, which I guess if each of them does one cool thing that'll add up to that entire empire falling, I guess. No. Oh, okay. She was also, she agrees with me. That was a sad thing to have happened. That's kind of neat. I'm always a sucker for big monolith-looking things falling over.
Yeah, well, you know, you can't go wrong with a big monolithic thing falling over.
Yeah, slow-mo crashing on stuff like Prometheus. Add that one to the list.
Oh yeah, no, we somehow made it through this without talking about Alien.
Yeah, we skipped Alien, but yeah, look, she's kind of got a Ripley vibe here with the gun.
That does kind of look like a Ripley. That does look kind of like the gun Ripley uses too.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we did our obligatory Alien. Ooh, the King's Gaze. I keep forgetting. That's kind of a cool ship name. Do you remember General Grievous's ship? What it's called?
The Malevolence?
I think it's the Invisible Hand. I could be wrong.
Which one's the you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know there is one called that, like the Malevolent bad guy ship. The Narada, right? Somebody has the Narada,
yeah.
I think, in the sequel trilogy, which is kind of a cool ship name. Star Wars fans disregard everything I say. I'm a fake Star Wars fan.
Oh, you don't bow at the feet of Dave Filoni.
Well, no, but also I don't know anything. All my knowledge. Not only do I spit at David Filoni and his false empire, but I.
Now we've made the Star Wars fans angry.
Yeah. I've decided. Look, this is a climactic burn it all down ending, so I'm doing a climactic burn it all down podcast ending. Just wanna burn all those bridges. Oh man, this guy knows his way around a walking stick.
A bone walking stick. Wait, did she just break it?
Maybe it went a little too fast. See, when I want him to slow down, he won't. Oh, and here comes down that thing. That Ad Astra Tower is falling down. Was he going to do the stepping on the hands bit? Oh, no. He just...
I love how much we're in Bespin right now. Really, really love it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to say he's her father for a second. That one move he did, he was just kind of jabbing at her with it. It looked like using a plunger. Not the most badass move I've seen. Ooh, you got him good.
Oh, he'll never have his bone stick again.
Until Kylo Ren finds it in the next one. Finds his skull too and is like, I'll rebuild your legacy, weird Nazi in a suit. Uh-oh. No, she didn't even say a badass line. Just stabbed him.
Oh, don't count her out just yet.
He's getting more jokery by the minute too. Now he's got... I missed her one-liner. I complained I didn't have one, and I talked over.
think he was the one who got the one-liner. I think he said, "This is perfect."
Oh, I guess it's perfect. What weird last words.
Well, they won.
Yeah, they saved the village. It's all good. They didn't even have to, and those other guys didn't even do anything.
I guess that's true. I mean, who would go to check that these guys didn't fulfill their order at this point?
Yeah, I guess that's what King Cariel was. They're setting him up. Duke Leto Atreides there. I guess he'll be the bad guy.
I think he died. I think he was part of the assassination thing.
Then I don't know who the bad guy will be.
The bad guy is supposed to be her dad. If you remember, an hour and a half ago, she gave us her backstory about how she was a person who was at a war zone as a child, tried to kill the main dude. The main dude thought highly of her. It was a real Gamora and Thanos situation.
All right. So yeah, he trained her to be a real jerk, but she rejected that for like a farm life.
Yes.
All right.
I think he is now the emperor of blah 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 blah.
Yeah, in Dune terms, he's Emperor Padishah the Fourth.
Damn! Thank God! Thank goodness that guy learned how to do that at the farm he was on.
Yep. No. This is all a lot of skills are paying off here. He's drinking. Why? You did nothing. Why is he tired? They just got trapped in a chair. And he's like, boy, I need a drink.
It's amazing how much time we spent recruiting people that had nothing to do with the final fight.
Yeah, this is all just what's going to happen. And don't worry, in part 2, they'll all get cool stuff to do.
I guess he's there to tell us all how it's the beginning of something. Because that's what you want to hear after you've spent 2 hours watching a movie, right? Is that it's the beginning of something?
She didn't do nothing either after she got the cool spider fight. Sorry. I'm going to miss Charlie Hunnam. I hope he comes back as a Force Ghost.
Or they rebuild him, make him the Biotic Man.
Yeah.
Or even better, Inspector Gadget.
Yes, he's going to have, like, springy legs, and he can have a little helicopter come out of his head.
Just an unholy abomination. just like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, imagine Charlie Hunnam on like still legs with like a crazy spring neck.
It's kind of amazing that Inspector Gadget hasn't been rebooted yet.
They gotta. I feel like who would be good? You could get John. No, he's a little too old at this point. No offense.
Oh my! We're gonna say John Hamm. John Hamm would make such a good Inspector Gadget.
There you go.
You just did the perfect casting in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, I called him old, but because I think not that John Hamm's old, but I think you need more of a heartthrob in there. Not that he's a heartthrob. What am I talking about? I'm trying to take down the king, John Hamm, but it's not working.
Oh man, I'm so glad it took us 2 hours to get back to this planet.
Yeah, they're back to the village.
So are they still gonna go prepare the village for fighting then?
Yeah, I think that's what.
But they killed the guy. Did he like check in before and just be like, "Hey, if anything happens and I die, make sure you go and get some food from this village"?
I think that's the idea.
Oh wait, this guy's saying they don't have to fight.
Oh, okay. So
okay.
No, it's a happy ending.
So you just came to get paid then?
Yeah, they're just coming back to get paid, and they're just gonna leave because it's already the issue's already resolved.
Okay, well I guess that makes sense. They all leave, and like 2 days later, the army shows up. Hey, this guy filled this requisition order before he died. Oh look!
All of part 2 is just gonna be them like getting their sacks of money and leaving, but across 2 hours. Or did he go bad? because he's got some crazy Hannibal. What's
going on with the robot? What a thing to end this movie on. Just the robot. Or is it the end?
Okay, here we go. We're setting up the sequel now. Now, if they had just called it Rebel Moon, how would we have reacted to this? I would still have been weirded out that we assembled a group of characters that did nothing.
I'd hate to say it, but I'd probably be more unforgiving to it, because then the movie is literally an hour and a half of recruiting for, what, a 10-minute fight where only 2 people do things?
That's true, yeah. I think I'd be a little more annoyed.
Mm-hmm. Like
he had a weird tentacle relationship with the ship, so maybe that's what's going on here.
Oh, you think it's going to assimilate him?
I think that looks like what we're ending this on. They're gonna.
I do see tentacles. Or at least tubes.
Yeah. And then he's gonna say, "Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she alright?" Yeah, they're... Ew, that's kind of gnarly. I like that body horror bit.
Yeah, we're matrixing.
Yep. We're Matrix resurrecting him. Also, speaking of our beloved Battlestar Galactica, this is kind of like those them Cylon hybrids.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're definitely resurrecting.
Which I guess those are also similar to the Minority Report precog things.
Ah, see, okay, we've hit another sci-fi.
I managed to get one more in before.
I might have to do an edit where I put a counter on the screen where I count every sci-fi. Yeah, every sci-fi thing we mentioned that isn't Rebel Moon. I want to say we've at least hit 20 in the course of this 2.5 hours.
Oh, I would be shocked if we hadn't. So I guess this is he uploads into the Matrix and gets to talk to this gentleman.
I think this is her dad, who also looks like the Astrades dude.
Yeah, and I bet he's played by somebody cool, right? He's got to turn around and be some actor. He's like, I don't recognize him. Otto von Bismarck over here.
The genius battlefield commander that we definitely saw do stuff.
For sure. All this I definitely engaged with and paid attention to as a viewer. So they're just bringing this guy back for the second one?
I think that's the intention.
I guess that is kind of like Avatar, how I was annoyed that Stephen Lang, they just brought him back as a blue man. But I ended up enjoying that, so maybe...
Yeah, I don't think this is going to have the same effect.
Probably not. Oh, jeez. This monologue's pretty intense. With his ice powers. So he just got reborn as the same looking guy? I thought he would at least come back as a cool cyborg monster.
I want to know the cost effect of this. Like, how much did it cost to bring that dude back? I need to know what kind of what kind of.
You saw how good he was with that staff. Like, no, all I spared no expense, as John Hammond from Jurassic Park says.
Should we watch the preview? It is queuing up for me.
Sure. I clicked on the credits again because they look like the Jurassic Park font.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can check out the preview, or we can give a little sneak peek of Rebel Moon.
Yeah, we'll do the preview, and then we'll do final thoughts on Rebel Moon Part 1.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you this too. Did you at any point realize why it was called A Child of Fire, or whatever the title is?
No. Again, that might not be the movie's fault. I may have just spaced out.
I think it does explain it at one point, but I could not tell you why.
Okay, let me look at the preview.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Let me know and I'll count us down.
4, 3, 2, okay, I'm playing, but I've paused it.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Whooshes. Okay, finally we're getting more of this robot. The robot Anthony Hopkins with the devil horns. Hey, they're fighting to defend something they love. That robot doesn't seem to be, he doesn't have high hopes for their survival.
I want to know why he's wearing a stag's horn now. What happened at the time that they were gone? Maybe that'll be the first.
I think he got crowned king of the village or something.
Maybe the first 2 hours of this next movie will be that story.
Maybe. They're teaching these kids to shoot guns, flying machines, some Ghost in the Shell looking robot ships. Creepy hooded things. Marie Antoinette over there. Kissing. Laser swords. Alright, I'm sold. I think part 2 is gonna be even better. Well, what's part 2 called? The Scarvenger.
The Scargiver.
So, alright, I'm back in. You know what?
Well, you gotta tell the people at home what you thought of Rebel Moon Part 1.
Well, I'll withhold all thoughts until part 2. Good night, everybody. No, I'm kidding. It was very pretty at times. Was very gross and interesting at times. Had some cool monsters, spaceships, robots. The fact that it was half a movie, I think, was a detriment.
So do you think it does the Part 1 well?
Not particularly, no, because it has to have a fake fight with the villain to give it any kind of a climax, and then they just do, they just bring the villain back immediately so he can try again a second time, which does not get me especially hyped because I've already had a little appetizer, I guess. What's he gonna do? He's gonna fight with 2 bone clubs next time? Is that how they raise?
I can't imagine he'll even be able to find 1 bone club to suit his purpose. That seemed like a very specific weapon.
The fact that Charlie Hunnam was a fake out, that he was a baddie, was actually did at least surprise me. So I give it that. But it also means I'm going to get no Charlie Hunnam in part 2.
It's probably the most surprising thing about this movie is that he does the turncoat thing.
Yes, and then does not redeem himself. He just stays a jerk,
and then dies a horrible death.
And then honestly, final thoughts, I guess, to leave this on a kind of interesting note. If I were ranking this on the Zack Snyder scale, I might put this, honestly, maybe a little above the middle, just because I thought at least the milieu was kind of interesting. And even if nothing actually happened at any point, the fact that they were getting the band together at least had some variety, because there was at least a different weirdo every 5 minutes, which kind of helped. So I guess that's my lingering, that's my last olive branch to the Snyder fan community.
I think it's definitely better that it definitely, just by detriment of not being Batman v Superman, it's definitely better than Batman v Superman. Um, I probably wouldn't put it above a Watchmen, but
Well, because Watchmen, has a beginning, a middle, an end.
yeah, it almost feels unfair to compare the two. But if we're talking Snyder movies, it's not bad. It's just too much doesn't happen in this movie for it to really be like. And if you want to say, oh, it's just a part one and like it's meant to be watched part one and two side by side, I'd argue that again you'd have to sit through 2 hours of a mostly pointless recruitment session just to get to them actually doing something for another 2 hours.
Yes, and then it looks like this second one is going to be a lot of it is going to be preparing the villagers for the fight ahead. So we're going to get even more,
and more backstory,
spinning our wheels. So, yeah, and again, as we pointed out earlier, I do think other part one of two movies have been able to be a little more elegant in the way they split it up.
Oh, for sure. Where would if you had this? If let's say you had to split this movie into a part one and part two, where would you split it at?
That's an interesting question. Honestly, I might do it Hobbit style, how the third one is just the Battle of the Five Armies. Maybe just have this one. Let's have them get to the village, train the villagers, form some bonds, and then have the second one just be maybe, an hour 20, and have it just be a final battle, an epilogue. That could be kind of cool.
I'd have probably split it at the point where they capture and Charlie Hunnam reveals himself as a turncoat. Because then I guess you at least get a cliffhanger. Which I feel like a part one, as much as I hate how, cliffhangery, like I think, Across the Spider-Verse, the way it ends is really, really hard to swallow because it's such a, it's not so much even a cliffhanger at that point. It's a whole other half of a movie that gets teased in, the last 15 minutes. But I think if you're getting into a part...
the first 20 minutes of the third one.
Yeah, it's basically the first 20 minutes of the next movie. But, yeah. So, even though I think you do want to leave a part one on a mostly finalized thing, I think the way this one is set up, it's kind of like, well, what? We did mostly nothing for an hour and a half, had a really quick battle, and now the mission is over. I think if you at least ended on a cliffhanger, then it doesn't feel like that hour and a half you spent is just for nothing.
I agree, because the way this one sets it up is that it basically has the ending to the movie where they beat the bad guy.
And that's the shortest part of the movie.
And then has to bring him back for realsies to give some sense that the story's not yet over. But it really just kind of makes you think that stories can end whenever you want them to end, and it's kind of an artificial construct if you're, keeping it going. It got me thinking deep thoughts about the nature of stories and how, if you want, maybe in the second one they'll kill the bad guy and there'll be a cliffhanger ending where he's brought back a second time. We could just do that 8 more times. And
it's not like you didn't. It's not like you couldn't have gotten another villain. Did they really think that so much of the movie was gonna linchpin on the two of them, being in this rivalry together? Because part of the reason why you have a big empire is that you have no shortage of troops. Did you really have to Did you really have to bring this dude back? Couldn't you have just introduced a more evil or Nazi dude?
Yeah, and to go back to the Star Wars thing, they're killing off Empire dudes left and right in that original trilogy. Often kind of a joke that they all get eliminated by Darth Vader, one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't really think they sold me on this Dario dude being the incredible villain that they seem to think he was. Once again, honestly, I would, out of curiosity, I would watch the 3-hour R-rated cut of part 1 of 2 when it comes out.
Let me ask you.
The fair shake, because I was talking over all of it, as is what you do when you're doing a commentary. So
let me ask you this: do you remember what happened to the guy who helped save the village girl?
No.
The movie does not go back to him.
Oh, the one they hold and were like, yeah, we're gonna get you. Yeah, the one they're being mean to. Yeah, that guy we never see. Maybe he'll be in the second one as the new Charlie Hunnam. He'll be the new badass.
I'd imagine he will be, but isn't it hilarious that he doesn't? That it's not him that goes, but it's Diego Luna wannabe that goes.
Yes, that's actually very true. I feel like that guy has the perfect setup to be like a cowardly dude who becomes a hero. I feel like he would have been a more interesting co-lead than Dario too there.
Yeah, him and the robot dude just kind of disappear after that scene. It just don't, and the only one who comes back is the robot dude, and that's only towards the end.
Yes, and with devil horns. Yeah, no, I mean, biggest complaint I will say is you sell me on this robot man, and he disappears for the entire movie, which was a bummer. But otherwise, 5 stars, no notes.
5 stars, no notes. All right, this is the internet. This will be put on YouTube. People will be able to quote you.
That's like my IGN rating, where I complain about the whole thing, and then I'm like, but you know what? 7.5 out of 10.
Oh man, that IGN. No, that we can't get into. That's another rabbit hole. It's just rabbit holes left and right here.
That's the whole can of worms. Yeah. But
what movie are we doing next, David? We're switching next time, aren't we?
Ball's in my court, and I think as a change of pace, one, in that it's a little shorter than this one. I think it's also over 2 hours, which is also crazy. But we'll be reviewing Saltburn Part 1, A Child of Fire.
Think, you can look it up on Amazon. It's there.
I think hearing your thoughts scene by scene will be a lot of fun.
To be clear,
that's all I'll say about it for now.
To be clear, I have not seen any of this movie. I know nothing about it. Kind of in the same way, we're reversing it basically. I have purposely made sure not to spoil anything. All I know is that there's a really crazy thing that happens at the end. Apparently, somebody parried it and put it in Lego, which even makes me more curious. But other than that, I know nothing about what goes on in that movie.
I did not know the Lego part. We should like the trailer for Rebel Moon Part 2. We should add that Lego part to the end.
We'll have to look it up and see if we can find it.
But till then, Saltburn.
Saltburn, and then we'll figure out. I want to keep doing this, so we'll have to figure out what we want to do next after Saltburn.
We'll figure out a way to keep it going, at least until to hold us over until Rebel Moon Part 2 in April. We gotta schedule some between.
We'll definitely be back for Rebel Moon Part 2, whatever it's called. But for now,
the Miracle Worker.
The Scar Giver? I think the Scar Giver is
Scar Giver. That's it. I was thinking the Caregiver.
I think she's called the Scar Giver. You know what might be it?
I'll double check on that when I watch the movie in a regular capacity. Cause she does give a lot of scars. That would make sense.
Yeah, I think
But
that.
anyway,
All right. Well, this has been the
on that
Multiversal
note,
Archivist. David, you want to sell yourself out? You got any? You got any Twitters or anything to plug?
nah, little bit of a basement dweller, part of the intellectual dark web with Jordan Peterson.
Look, I promise
But
he does stuff. He
I
just,
do
he's just.
got a short film coming up. I'll plug it on the show when it's out on YouTube. But till then, yeah, just gonna hold my tongue till Saltburn and let you guys
All right.
experience that magic in a little bit.
Well, this will be going up on my YouTube. You know where to find me. I am the Multiversal Archivist, and we'll be back to set more fans on fire when Rebel Moon comes out.
Oh yeah, there's many fandoms that we can still
Yep.
make mad.
I will find some fandoms in Saltburn to make mad. I promise you.